Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's time for some videotapes. Let's do it. Good morning, children. Welcome to tape class. I have a general idea for today's stream, which is that we're gonna watch some long format educational programs and maybe a cartoon or two, because that's what I'm feeling today. So, who likes pandas? Who likes saving the pandas? Who likes heartwarming stories? Let me pull up the VHS feed. Okay. Got that up and running. Let me find the tape we're going to watch on goldenvcr.com. Panda. This is from National Geographic Video, 1983, an old classic, Save the Panda, sent in by Bella Bunny. Take a spectacular journey. It starts right here. Oh, it's a tight one. Oh, there's a, wait, what is this? It says Collector's Edition. And inside the box is a little brochure. Oh my God. It's like a wallet photo accordion fold pamphlet. National Geographic Video, now only $19.98 each. Suggested list price. The most collectible series on video cassette. Oh my God, you can get the box sets for $60. The Predators, History and Nostalgia, Pioneers, Explorers, Expeditions. There's so many of these. Science and Discovery, Exotic Destinations and Cultures, Endangered Wildlife, including Save the Panda, The Animal Kingdom. All right. Well, that's neat to have that in the box. Anyway, let's get this tape in the VCR, and we'll learn about pandas. It is kind. Save the Panda. High in the bamboo forested mountain ranges of central China lives the elusive and endangered giant panda. Over time, their numbers have dwindled due to human encroachment and climatic changes. Join scientists as they track these rare creatures through nearly impenetrable bamboo in an effort to learn more about the panda and ultimately increase its chances of survival. Save the Panda. The heartwarming story of China's living treasure in its struggle for survival. This is my private home. I've invited you all here. This is a community endeavor. We are, you know, it's a friendly atmosphere. We are people who know each other. We have a Discord community. We're not just here for piracy. This isn't piracy. Shut up.
Explore the worlds of National Geographic Video. This program is made possible by a grant from the people of Chevron.
Oil companies!
To bring new worlds to your world.
Oil companies, friend of wildlife. Okay, it's panda time. I'm gonna eat oatmeal and watch this.
In the remote wilderness of central China, an American scientist tracks an elusive animal in its last refuge, the icy mountain ramparts near the border of Tibet. Sequestered in this inaccessible universe, the giant panda was revealed to the Western world only 100 years ago. Today, it remains mysterious and enigmatic. So little is known about the giant panda that baffling questions about it are yet to be resolved. How much does it eat? How far does it travel? How much space does it require? But the most nagging question of all, can it survive? For the giant panda is one of the most endangered species on Earth. The Chinese have allowed only 40 pandas to leave their homeland. Wherever they go, they create intense excitement.
Ahí está la mamá. Ay, así. Míralo. Ay, mira. Se están revolcando.
Today, scientists are intensifying their efforts to understand this rare and troubled species.
Now she starts to break it up here in a minute.
Okay, now what is she doing? She's
Now-
shredding it, huh?
Yeah, she tries to break
Researchers are at work,
it up. Really act
from
like
Washington's National Zoo to the ever-shrinking bamboo forests of China, where the shy mammal clings to existence. Confronting challenges and hardship, conservationists, scientists, and governments have dedicated themselves in an extraordinary effort to save the panda.
Save the panda.
In a time so remote,
How
that
many
fact
pandas
and
are there
legend
now?
mingle, there are references to a mysterious animal the Chinese called bichon, the white bear.
Okay, roughly
The
1,800 in
ancient
the wild
chronicles of
and
China
600 in
record
zoos.
that a giant panda was included in a tribute from the kingdom of Qin to the kingdom of Yu. Japanese imperial annals recount that in 685 AD, China's emperor sent the ruler of Japan a gift of 2 live white bears and 70 white bear skins. But secluded in remote mountains, shrouded by mist, clouds, and snow, the land of the giant panda was seldom penetrated. Even the local people could have lived and died without ever setting eyes on the elusive animal. The deep forests and dense bamboo thickets held the secret of the giant panda for thousands of years. It was not until 1869 that the Western world was made aware of its existence.
It really knew
when
what
the
I
French
wanted with
missionary
that prompt.
priest and naturalist Père Armand David discovered the strange bamboo-eating creature. But the giant panda remained one of the rarest animals known to man. Then, in 1929, Theodore Roosevelt Jr. and his brother Kermit led a successful expedition to acquire a giant panda skin for Chicago's Field Museum of Natural
Everyone
History.
always forgets about Kermit
Soon,
Roosevelt.
a succession of intrepid hunters braved marauding bandits and primitive conditions as American natural history institutions contended for giant panda skins. In 1936, Mrs. Ruth Harkness journeyed to China to realize the dream her husband had died trying to fulfill, and returned with the first live panda the West had ever seen, Sulin. In 1937, Ruth Harkness brought back a second live panda to join Sulin. By now,
Nope.
the most famous
That's
panda
Kermit, all right.
of the 20th century. Dean Sage acquired this lively baby for the New York Zoological Society.
What makes a giant panda so valuable? The giant panda is valuable because it is exceedingly rare and because it is very hard to capture one. How did he react to the airplane trip? The panda reacted very well in the air. She was not bothered by the trip and slept most of the time.
Soon, England joined the exclusive Panda Club, and the craze called Pandemonium swept through London.
Oh, little baby panda. Yeah, this is a weirdly
Regent's Park Zoo, the
early
Princess
20th
Elizabeth
century
Margaret met Ming.
kind of
And
approach
when
to
England went to war,
animal
Panda's
stewardship.
hijinks brought joy to a public that desperately needed it. In 1963, history was made at the Peking Zoo when the first giant panda was born in captivity.
They do look extremely cute and cuddly. Like the way the mama is
By this time,
holding the baby
all
like
but
that.
2 giant pandas in zoos
is
outside
precious.
China had died. In 1966, the Iron Curtain was temporarily lifted in an attempt to mate the 2 survivors. Chi-Chi, a female from the London Zoo, was flown to the Soviet Union. Her arrival was greeted with much fanfare and attention from the international press, as An waited at the Moscow Zoo. Repeated efforts to mate the pair ended in failure. The years of unsuccessful attempts at breeding pandas in zoos outside China had begun.
How many zookeepers were executed?
But
For failure
now,
to make
no
pandas
more
reproduce.
pandas were to leave the People's Republic for Europe or America. China isolated itself from the West. Radical policies were instituted as the peasants were collectivized, and extensive land reforms were set in motion. Recovering from internal and external warfare, caught in the throes of massive social change, the Chinese struggled to feed 700 million people. Hundreds of thousands of laborers toiled to modernize China, to industrialize what was still basically an ancient feudal society, and to transform it into a 20th century giant. A surge of radical fervor, which Chairman Mao called the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution, launched massive political upheavals. The nation was rocked by turmoil and fear. After Mao's death in 1976, the revolutionary energies that had been unleashed wound down. The country seemed to stabilize, to pause, and take a breath. The Chinese could now turn their attention to wildlife conservation.
That is
Filled
odd.
with a
Why
new
would that
sense
not work?
of pride, realizing that the panda was a national treasure, the government gave the animal official protection. But each year, the burgeoning population encroached further on the panda's last refuge. Even within the reserves, people who had traditionally
Now, why did that happen?
were allowed to follow their old ways of life. More and more wild lands gave way to the plow.
Invalid character less than symbol, looking for beginning of value. It's an error on my end somewhere. Because it's getting a 502 and
Each season saw livestock grazing higher on the mountainside.
I think it's getting an HTML response from some server instead of plain text, and it's choking on parsing that. But it's a 502 error, which is, where is the 502 coming from?
Being destroyed to provide needed housing.
Let me try again.
Then, in the mid-1970s, a natural phenomenon occurred as it does every 70 to 80 years. In the Min Mountains, the umbrella bamboo flowered and died. In ancient times, the pandas could have traveled to other areas where the bamboo would not be in its cyclical die-off. But now, nearly 150 pandas died of starvation. About 10% of the entire population wiped out within months.
Oh no, panda's starving to death.
Gravely alarmed,
Now we're
Chinese
watching a Nat
government
Geo
asked the
tape.
World Wildlife Fund International to join in an accelerated conservation program.
That's weird. I'll keep an eye on it and see if I get
Dr.
more
Deborah
errors.
Kleiman of
I'm
the
not sure if
United
it's
States National Zoo
my
and
servers
Dr. Emil
or
Dolensek of the New
OpenAI
York
that's
Zoological
being
Society
funky.
was selected to join Dr. George Schaller, co-field director of the Panda Project.
Yeah, you should still have all your points if your
article.
ghost doesn't
That's
go
good for
through.
the panda.
Schaller's wife Kay will assist him.
就是他没拍到，
哦，
每个熊猫跑太快了。
Never before had the Chinese government asked a private organization to help with wildlife conservation. Following the route taken by many early panda hunters and collectors, the scientists leave the walled city of Chengdu, once a link to the caravan trade on the fabled Silk Road. They are among the first Westerners to enter this area since the 1930s, and the first ever to be invited here. Four hours over rough roads from Chengdu, they reach a wilderness of jagged, tree-spiked peaks, reminiscent of classical Chinese paintings. This is the home of the giant panda. Although grappling with the problems of feeding an enormous population, the Chinese government has nevertheless set aside 10 tracts of land to protect the remaining pandas. In prehistoric times, pandas roamed over much of eastern China and Burma. Today, due to the destruction of natural habitat, their range has shrunk to these tiny areas. Wolong, where the World Wildlife Fund team will work, is the largest of the reserves. At administrative headquarters, the staff welcomes the team. The departure point for Schaller's research camp is a 10-minute drive away. Even inside the reserve, there are scattered settlements. The Chiang are one of China's national minorities. Their Tibetan heritage is reflected in their features, traditional dress, and way of life. As Westerners, the shallows are endlessly fascinating to the Chiang.
Oh boy, it's World of Warcraft concept art.
Here, on the Pitya River, the elevation is almost 6,000 feet. There is only one way to reach the research camp, so the shallows begin a 2,000-foot climb up the mountainside. Every bit of food, every piece of equipment to be used there must be carried on the backs of the scientists and Chiang porters. The trail will become increasingly steep and treacherous. The Panda breeding station where Devra Kleiman and Emil Delensik are headed is high in a neighboring valley. They too must make a rugged 2,000-foot climb. In the days when commercial logging was carried out here, workers died blasting these tunnels through the peaks. Named for them, the area is called Ingshango, Valley of the Heroes. Three veterinarians and several keepers take care of the 7 pandas here.
I think we would have to put a bigger dent in the population issue
Rice gruel, fortified with vitamins
in
and
order to have a
minerals,
thriving
supplements the panda's staple diet
panda-
of bamboo.
panda
Enriched
lawnmower
bread is
industry.
baked for them by the camp cook. With a digestive system ill-suited for extracting the food value in bamboo, each adult animal must consume up to 40 pounds daily. Wood is not a part of their diet, just a toy for this member of a species that likes to play.
Oh, they tumbling.
Dr. Kleiman has come here to facilitate natural breeding. With so few pandas left, it is now urgent that all of them reproduce.
Last year we
on,
tried
B.
Jin and
Aw.
San San, didn't we? And we also have done the same this year. But it doesn't seem to work so well.
But it may change when they're in heat. It
If
may
the
be that
natural
they're-
mating attempts fail, Dr. Delensik will perform an artificial insemination.
也许这个
Behind the holding pens are large areas of enclosed natural habitat where the pandas can roam freely. For the researchers, this offers a unique opportunity for study. Even the giant panda's position in evolutionary history remains obscure. Some scientists say that it is most closely related to the red panda, which they place in the raccoon family. Some have found it strikingly similar to bears, while others place it in a group of its own. This century-old controversy continues to tantalize scientists. But for now, the questions are more immediate and pragmatic. When will the breeding age female reach her period of peak heat? And will the attempts at natural breeding succeed?
We got a bingo winner on the first tape. All right. You're at 20, 1,000 points. Congrats on winning bingo.
Much of Dr. Kleiman's
go.
work consists of daily observation of the female panda, now in her reproductive cycle. Kleiman has found that among mammals, vocalization and behavioral changes in the panda are unusually pronounced.
Sissa, good morning. How are you doing today? You've been bleating a lot in the past few days. You coming into heat, Sissa? Are you bleating in response to Lily? Ping Ping. I didn't let you out today yet. Oh, I know you'd really like to get at me. But you know, if we chatted for a while, perhaps we could be friends. Oh, you're looking okay though.
She's really enunciating very precisely for the benefit of the pandas, I guess. Pandas can understand human speech better.
In the wild,
You speak
the
slowly.
panda's vocalizations help the solitary males and females find each other in the dense bamboo forests. As she nears her period of peak receptivity, the female's bleating increases. There are only 1 to 3 days in the entire year when the female can become pregnant. Lily's scent markings, posturings, restlessness, and vocalizations all indicate that she has reached peak heat. The male, released to join her, seems unresponsive at first. Then attempts to mate.
I didn't expect panda mating noises to sound like that. But then again, I didn't expect to hear panda mating noises when I woke up today.
The mating attempt has ended in failure. There are only a few hours left in which Lily is capable of becoming pregnant. For over 100 years after its discovery, no detailed field study of the giant panda was made until the Chinese initiated investigations in the 1970s. Then, in 1980, Project Panda began. George Schaller says,
Anybody who has lived for a moderate number of years will have seen areas that have been destroyed, natural areas that have been destroyed in a very short time. And my personal feeling is that one of the things one can do that is not only of benefit to this generation, but all future generations, is fight for the protection of nature.
One of the world's foremost field biologists, Schaller is the director of the New York Zoological Society's Animal Research and Conservation Center. He has made landmark studies of mountain gorillas in Africa, tigers in India, jaguars in Brazil, and the elusive snow leopard in the Himalayas.
I was basically attracted to studying animals because I like to observe animals. So it's very frustrating to study pandas because you're almost, well, studying an abstraction. Your notebooks are full of little symbols of which direction the animal is it active or inactive, but it still doesn't replace actually seeing the animal.
To come too close to the pandas would disturb their natural behavior, so he purposely tracks them from a distance. Carved out of the Oolong wilderness, a rough camp serves as research headquarters. From it, a group of workers sets out to trap a panda. If successful, they will fit it with a radio collar and release it back into the wild. Monitoring the radio signals will allow the researchers to follow the panda's movements year-round. For without snow on the ground, following panda tracks through steep forests of nearly impenetrable bamboo is virtually impossible.
He had to appear by satellite phone because he
One of 7 traps is set up near a stream where pandas are
could
known
not
to
make it
drink.
to the Jeopardy studio.
Logs will camouflage each trap and anchor it firmly to the ground. A trigger mechanism is rigged to the trap door. At headquarters, researchers confer with Hu Jinchu, a professor at Nanchang Teachers College. Hu has been working in Oolong since the early 70s. With George Schaller, he is now co-field director of the Panda project. When all the traps are set up, a team goes out to bait them. For hundreds of thousands of years, pandas have been adapted to eating bamboo almost exclusively. But they are still carnivores. Too slow to catch most prey, they are nevertheless extremely fond of meat. Bones and mutton are smoked in hope that the scent will lure a panda.
It really is incredible that they're just doing, you know, with pandas you do the exact opposite of what
The
you
meat
do with
is placed in
bears.
the trap. The door is tested once more.
If you're out in the wilderness, you're supposed to
And the
like
waiting
not
begins.
allow the scent of your food to attract bears. But these people really want bears to show up.
Of the 5 pandas already collared, only one is a male. If they capture another male, researchers can begin to study social interactions between the two. Dr. Wang Xiangqing, a veterinarian from the breeding station, is standing by to immobilize any captured animals.
哦，他们那天看到熊猫，在这刚转上去睡了一觉。
逮到喽！熊猫来喽！逮到一个熊猫。
Late one afternoon, the call Shung Mao echoes through the camp. as a runner brings the news that a large panda has been caught. It is in one of the distant traps at 11,000 feet, a rough 2-hour hike away. They must hurry to get there before dark. Professor Hu and Dr. Wang are concerned about the well-being of the panda. Estimating its weight, they decide on the dosage of immobilizing drug to be administered. It will be about 10 minutes before the drug is effective. The radio collar is securely fitted to stay on the animal for 2 years. Because the drug inhibits the blinking reflex, salve is applied to lubricate the animal's eyes. The scientists use this opportunity to gather as much biological information as possible. The animal weighs 235 pounds, an average weight for a full-grown male. An examination of the teeth indicates he is about 16 years old. So that he can safely recover from the drug, the panda is placed back into the trap. A test of the radio receiver indicates that the transmitter on the collar is functioning well.
I miss snow. Why
The
does it have
data
to be
that this
90
panda
degrees?
will provide for conservation management will contribute to the preservation of the entire species. Every day, from sites throughout the study area, the scientists radio monitor the 5 collared pandas. The data gathered will eventually reveal each animal's daily routine, the size of its home range, and the extent of its seasonal movements.
I mean, that is definitely true, Alistair, and it's concerning.
By tuning into different frequencies,
also because
the
it's
researcher
just
knows which panda
late
he
June.
is monitoring. The number of pulses per minute indicates whether the animal is active, traveling or eating, or inactive.
I'm more bemoaning the fact that it gets really hot in the summer in the south. But it is certainly going to keep getting even hotter and less stable, so that's great.
Through simple triangulation, the panda's location is pinpointed. Time, temperature, and weather conditions will be correlated with the animal's behavior patterns.
2x 64
Botanist Julian Campbell has joined the World Wildlife Team to work with Professor Chen Zhisheng, who has studied the flora here for several seasons. Their first task is to find a common language.
Jin, 枝条, ye, hua, jin,
枝条,
branch,
叶子,
leaf,
花,
flower.
flower.
Okay.
But the great challenge that faces them is to determine abundance and growth of the bamboo. They will constantly check development in 10-foot square study plots. Learning the life history of the bamboo will help to answer the critical question: how much space does the panda need to survive?
Not very many dead ones here yet, but they may start to die soon.
At the breeding station, Lily seems to be in her peak heat, and time is running out. But there must be consensus before an artificial insemination can be done.
In some part, she's in stronger heat than last year.
入乡就是从那个活动返潮比去年还要明显。
He agrees to do the artificial insemination today. He said, since we are doing scientific research, we must take some risk.
小张，我同意，还是今天可以。只是我们提前一点做的话，即使说我们没有达到高潮，但我们还以后还可以弥补噻。
He agrees to do artificial insemination today. He said we'd rather be a little earlier than to lose the chance, because if we lose the chance, we can never find the chance again.
Are we all agreed then?
Yes, everybody.
Okay, let's get to work.
Liquid nitrogen is used to freeze a portion of the semen that has been collected from one of the mature male pandas.
11:52.
Placed in plastic straws, the frozen semen creates a kind of biological bank, since it can be used even years later.
Get this one done. That one will be down for a while.
I just want to see if it works. Probably not. Oh. Oh, look at him! Frosty Fizz. Yeah. Right, of course.
Good. Good.
Frosty Fizz.
See the separation there?
Carbonated
Look, and you see the separation.
semen.
See, we're still not to the cervix. See the separation across the top? You see it?
莲花要不要？
You see it? That's the thing I was talking about.
歪点儿广点儿给儿龙也可以。
Dolensek shares his expertise in the artificial insemination procedures
The computer's
with
a
young
freak.
veterinarians. One of their hopes for the future of the panda is that someday it will be routinely bred in captivity. For now, their wish is that this procedure is a success.
That was a good insemination today.
这是很成功的一次人
这
工受
次通过活
精。
做得好，但愿这次会产那个小崽崽。
Hope we shall have a baby panda this
I hope
time.
so. We've got.
Sorry, I just I need that clip.
That was a good insemination today.
这是很成功的一次人
这
工受
次通过活
精。
做得好，但愿这次会产那个小
Just
崽
out
崽。
of context, the two men shaking hands awkwardly and professionally and saying, that was a good insemination today.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job. I think today was a perfect day, and tomorrow and the following day, we should have a good chance, I think, with her.
Despite artificial inseminations on the next 2 days, Lily does not become pregnant. There will be no baby panda born here this year.
Oh no. But they were so excited.
Through the frozen months of winter, the forest is silent and still. Most pandas stay at upper elevations, where one of the two types of bamboo in the study area is abundant. But as spring begins to stir, tender shoots of the other species push through the thawing earth on the lower slopes. Soon, the pandas will descend in search of the delicacy. In the plots laid out during winter, Dr. Campbell checks the new shoots. The researchers want to determine how much bamboo eaten consists of shoots, what consists of stems and leaves, and how the proportions change through the seasons. By May, the pandas are feasting on the new growth in the lower part of their range. Tracking and radio monitoring, the scientists intensify their efforts to observe the animals. For the first time in months, Schaller and Hu spot a lone collared panda feeding deep in a bamboo thicket. They stay quietly at a distance where their presence will not affect its natural behavior. It is a distinctly satisfying moment. Five days every month, the radio-collared pandas are monitored over a 24-hour period. Their activities are recorded every 15 minutes. Tonight, the monitoring will be done from the Schaller's tent.
George, I'm going to go to sleep now. Wake me up if you get tired early.
All right, you've got about 5 hours.
Schaller has learned that pandas eat for as long as 8 hours, then sleep 1 to 4 hours, eat again, then sleep again, around the clock, in order to get enough nutrition. Females have a small range, Males, a larger one. Throughout the year, males occasionally seek out females to determine where they can be found during the mating season. Gradually, the seasonal information begins to translate into pictures of the animal's behaviors.
We appreciate very, very much the kindness and the friendship that has been shown to us here.
At a farewell party for Kay Schaller, she proposes a toast to the pandas.
So I would like to drink a special toast to the Sheng Mao who has brought us together.
他建议这个大家干杯，特别是为把我们聚集在一起的熊猫干杯。
小猫。哦。Mr. Shengmao.
International cooperation in science is fun.
Bye.
She is returning home to care for the Schaller sons back from school for the summer.
Can be from entirely different cultures
will continue
with entirely different ideologies, but you have a common thing that you share that you're very passionate about. And then you can drink together.
At the breeding station, the pandas spend the pleasant spring days in their natural habitat enclosures. Schaller comes to observe them, for he feels that he seldom sees enough of the reclusive wild animals. He speaks of their future.
There's no question that the panda is a threatened species. The most immediate threat to panda certainly is habitat destruction, and that continues. So the general trend in panda numbers is still slowly downhill. One of the goals of this project is to prepare the master plan so that the panda can be preserved and managed forevermore.
In zoos throughout the world, the fight is also being waged to help ensure survival of the species. In China, there have been 31 zoo births. Here, at the Chengdu Zoo, 6-month-old Jinjin is one of their latest successes. Perhaps he is a harbinger of some brighter future when no more pandas will be taken from the wild for zoos, and captive bred pandas might even be released into the wild. In March 1982, Ling Ling, the female of a pair of giant pandas given to the United States by the People's Republic of China 10 years earlier, is admitted to the hospital operating room at the National Zoo in Washington,
Jinjin was
D.C.
born 1981 at the Chengdu Zoo and died in 1990. Rip Jinjin.
Repeated attempts to breed Ling Ling and the male Sing Sing have resulted in failure.
Okay, we're in, guys.
Now, distinguished medical professionals employ sophisticated tools to perform a unique operation. Because there are so few hours in a year when a panda can become pregnant, a laparoscope is used to see when ovulation is occurring.
How's it going? Yeah. We come back to use the mic, didn't we?
Okay, let's take it off. Let's get this. There it is.
For the first time in history, a medical team is able to look inside the body of a female panda in heat. At what is judged to be the ideal time, semen is injected.
This is an incredible amount of effort to
Okay.
Save the panda.
Let's make sure the blade's there. Taking oxygen.
They really weren't kidding
If
about
the
saving the
procedure
panda.
is successful, this will be the first time a giant panda is born in the United States.
No, just take that one. We'll just take that one.
By midsummer, Ling Ling is isolated to protect her from disturbance. The entire country anticipates the historic event, and at the zoo, a fascinated public gathers at a television monitor to watch her. Perhaps no one is more hopeful than Deborah Kleiman. She has spent a decade observing Ling Ling and knows that the panda probably has only 5 or 6 more years to breed. Now, back from China, Dr. Kleiman's first stop every morning is to review the videotapes made of Ling Ling's activities the night before.
Hey, this is the sequence where they reported some rump rubbing, right?
Yeah, I haven't reviewed this tape, but this is the time frame.
Dozens of volunteers watch, log, and tape Ling Ling 24 hours a day.
It's been incredible. There's been more grooming than we've ever seen. And a lot of this.
Yeah.
A lot of
A baby panda weighs a mere 4 ounces to the mother's 250 pounds. Researchers must rely entirely on behavioral and physiological changes rather than appearance as indicators of a pregnancy.
Now, has she been using old bamboo or...
No, this is fresh.
Oh, she's really moved. She's not eating it.
No, she's not eating.
Moving around
She's
with
not
it.
eating. And wait till she stands up a lot, as though she didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I'd expect that,
Yeah.
you know, because first births, I don't know, you often get animals showing a lot of random carrying of nest material until
not
they get
knowing
really
what to do with
close.
it. Yeah.
That is really a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we had last weekend, we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a lot of activity, a lot of rubbing, a lot of grooming. And since, what, Monday, Tuesday, nothing. It's
And
gone down.
a little bit of possible nest building, too, over the weekend.
The staff continues to evaluate Ling Ling's behavior, and an optimistic nation watches and waits. On August 27th, after 1,300 hours of the pregnancy watch by volunteers, Zoo Director Dr. Theodore Reed holds a press conference.
She went through behavior patterns that led us to believe that she was pregnant. And you go from the heights of expectations to the sadness of not having the baby. And I'm very, very disappointed and sorry that I have to announce that there will be no baby panda this year, and that next year we'll try again.
Despite this crushing disappointment,
Those poor
there
panda
is reason to
researchers.
hope. In Mexico City, the first zoo-bred panda to survive outside China was born in July 1981. In most captive situations, male and female pandas have been kept apart, except when the female is in heat. Here, zoo authorities left the male and female together throughout the year, with this wonderful result.
Pregnancy watch. Love it.
This unique record, videotaped at the Mexico City Zoo, shows the panda in its first days of life, born pink-skinned with a silver sheen of sparse hair. It begins to acquire its distinctive markings in about a week. The tiny baby is fragile and completely helpless. With extreme delicacy and tenderness, the mother uses her mouth to move the baby, groom it, and take it up to nurse. Decades of hope and dedication seem to culminate in the miracle of this tiny life. But although the births of captive-bred pandas are a major breakthrough in the preservation of this rare animal, we can never be assured of its survival unless it is safe in its wilderness home. George Schaller has written, We have all met species without a future and wished that we might be able to extend their existence. Such species evolved with us in a remote world, and as each perishes, it takes with it an ancient knowledge which man may well need. The panda is more than an animal. It is a symbol of our commitment to the future. To lose this symbol because of neglect would be a disastrous moral blow to mankind. The effort to rescue this beleaguered species from the specter of extinction has begun. Only the conscience of a caring world, supporting scientific discoveries and wildlife management, can save the panda.
We did it. We saved the panda. I think that's the takeaway that the narrator wanted us to have here. We did it. It's done. We don't have to change anything about our attitudes as a global society. Everything's great. Yeah, I mean, panda conservation has made good strides, I think, since 1983. Yeah, I think so. I'm rewinding our next tape. Rewinder. Why you do? Okay. I think that's still okay. That's a slightly odd angle for that tape to be at now. It may have slipped off the controller or something, or the capstan or whatever the thing is. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Is that? No, it's supposed to look like that. Okay. Coming soon from National Geographic.
Asleep, a giant lies silent.
Have we seen this promo? I can't remember.
It thunders.
I think we have.
The Earth, more than 4.5 billion years old and still being born. Its mysteries hold the secrets of our past. Its power unleashed casts a shadow on the future.
It's no longer a question of if the big earthquake is coming. It's simply a matter of when. And people damn well better prepare themselves for it.
Journey through time, across 4 continents, with National Geographic.
This is a good sample of
the destruction and creation that is
the scope of National Geographic videos that were available in 1983. There's at least this many.
Inside the tropical rainforest.
Stick bug. Get stick bugged.
Hidden. Hovering. It surges and strikes out. The forest itself is alive. Witness the splendor that is home to nearly half of all the animal species on Earth. Breeding ground, battleground. Join National Geographic deep within the
rainforest.
National Geographic Video. Undeniably collectible and affordably priced. Only from Vestron Video.
Great song. Yay. Well, that was Save the Panda, contributed by the Bella Bunny. Thank you. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, I've just picked out cartoons and long-form educational content because I think that's a good vibe for today. In particular because I am like doing stuff right now. I am working on things, and I don't want to be fully engaged with the content we're watching. So I'm going full substitute teacher mode. I hope that's okay. I'm gonna pop this next tape in just to make sure I did not break it. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, let's just sadly, I'm not working on Nut Alert. No, I'm working on some other things that are like stream code related. I'm currently writing a tool that will take. So I'm writing V8 JavaScript bindings in Go, and then writing a tool that will take my Go glue code and parse it and automatically generate like TypeScript definitions for the functions I'm declaring. It's fun. It's really fun. Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. I guess we'll see if it's Minute Mouse or Minute Mouse. It's a Saturday morning classic from Bob Kane, the creator of Batman. Let's find this. Courageous. Courageous Cat. First there was Batman. Now, from the same creator comes the Saturday morning classic, Courageous Cat. Armed with an arsenal of planes, cars, and other incredible gadgets, he is rivaled only by the Cape Crusader himself. With the help of his trusted sidekick, Minute Mouse, and his unlimited supply of kooky guns for any occasion, he solves one wacky crime after another. He's solving wacky crimes using his kooky guns. Each of these hilarious episodes is packed with action and crackpot comedy, so move over, Batman, and let the cat take over. This is 43.5 minutes of Saturday morning cartoons here on this Monday morning. I hope you enjoy this. You've heard of Batman. Maybe. I don't know if you remember Batman. He really was eclipsed by Bob Kane's more famous creation, Courageous Cat. Here we go. Play. It's time for Courageous Cat. This was sent in by Green Day Rock. Thank you, Green Day. And it is from 1989. Courageous Cat. Oh, it's a 1960 children's television show. Hell yeah. So it's basically a spoof of Batman and Robin created by Bob Kane, which sounds pretty rad, actually. J.P. Farnham. This cartoon is 64 years old. I love those smiling animals in the background, matte painting.
While all attention is drawn to the trapeze performer, a sinister plot takes place.
All right, I really do like the energy of
All right.
60s Saturday morning cartoon that's not Hanna-Barbera.
Things began to happen. A bag of cement is emptied into the high diver's pool. And to top it all, someone filled the elephant's balancing ball with helium gas.
you mess up the circus. There's dirty work afoot. We gotta do something, boss.
There's only one who can put a stop to it, and that's Courageous Cat.
Now, Mr. JP, you say there's thievery going on, too.
Correct. Here is a list of the things missing.
Meanwhile, out of the dark shadows, the mystery phantom strikes again.
Don't worry, Mr. JP. I'll track down the culprit, or my name isn't... Run for your life! Wild lion on the loose! Stand back, everybody! I'll take care of him! Okay, JP, where do you want him? Courageous, look! He's cutting the bars! Why, it's Mad Mo the Clown!
I love this incredibly cheap animation.
The one who's been causing all the trouble. I'll go get him! Minute Mouse, wait! Come back! Come back! Mad Mo is dangerous!
To shake off his pursuer, Mad Mo mounted the aerial ladder.
Your goose is cooked, Mad Mo! I got you surrounded!
Oh, yeah? That's what you think.
A shot of this will clip this bird's wings.
He just has a bunch of guns. That was so kooky. Are the kooky guns just regular guns with, like, fun little particle effects?
Boss, I worked for you.
I don't know what was kooky about that.
And never got one single raise. If it's a raise you want...
God, Courageous Cat is very pro-capital. I mean, not that pouring cement into your coworkers' water tanks is a good way to advocate for better working conditions. So, like Batman, he rides a car out of a cave, and he has a youth sidekick. I like how they just really love the guns. Like, I know in the original 1930s Batman comics, Batman had a gun and just shot people. And then there was, like, uproar and about comics in general around the time and how violent they are, and Bob Kane had to retool it so he was, like, you know, a guy who was committed to not killing anyone. And he solved his problems with fun gadgets instead of guns. But I like to think he just was kind of pissed off that he had to do that and decided to take all of his gun energy and put it into this children's cartoon.
Calling Courageous Cat, proceed to Art Museum. Valuable masterpiece missing.
This is the work of a master criminal. That painting was worth almost $1 million. What was that? It's Rodney the rodent.
He's around here somewhere. This time, my infrared flash gun will show you up for what you are. Oh, I beg your pardon, madam. But paintings can't talk. It must be Rodney the rodent.
All right, drop that gun. Now, get up there.
Help! Help!
Oh, Rodney the rodent.
Here I am, courageous. Thanks, Minute. Rodney cleaned the place out. Even the vault is empty. There's no time to lose. I know Rodney's hideout. Woo!
Now, to relax.
Ooh. Jazzy crime bar.
Bravo! Bravo!
Here's where we make our move. I'll take over.
Waiter! Waiter! Thank you, my good man. Yipes!
You're under arrest.
He just has two revolvers now.
This picture frame gun never fails.
Oh, he put them away and got a kookier gun.
Thanks again, Courageous. Where's Minute Mouse?
Oh, he's gone in for fine art.
This feels a little excruciating to watch, just a little bit. But I do love the inanity of it. How like every episode is just a short setup and that ends with Courageous Cat shooting someone with a different kooky gun. This is so classic too. There's like, you know, they're like including a full minute of reused animation for the intro of every episode. What are we up to this time, boys? The Case of the Big Squeeze. There are several episodes on this tape. Oh, it's a Burma shave sign to put a little joy in your life. Own an original gun. Oh, masterpiece. That's not a very good Burma shave joke. Are they counterfeiting art? Poopsie wait. I'm sorry. Let's take another look at these artists. Max Rembrandt. So that's Rembrandt. Lefty Louis da Vinci. Poopsie Picasso.
There you are. Genuine signed masterpieces.
How dare he counterfeit art? I hope he gets shot with a gun.
J.P. Martin, we pay a fortune for these.
Why are all the villains French? God, he's just trying to scam the 1%. Leave him be.
You're sure these are genuine masterpieces? Of course. Just smell the paint.
Oh, we're back to the pad. Sassy Bones? What was her? Oh my god.
Here you are, baby. Lots more where that comes from.
I don't know if this is proper etiquette to make it rain for a jazz singer.
To the pad, pick up Rodney the rodent for selling forged paintings. Get the evidence.
Although it looks like a swinging jazz club, but was singing an aria before.
Encore! Encore!
Minute, you keep him busy while I search his studio.
You have a suspicious amount of money. It's time for Minute Mouse to pull off a civil forfeiture. What kind of kooky gun do you think he's gonna kill this guy with at the end?
Minute Mouse.
Rodney, you forged your last masterpiece.
He's just always pulling out 2 9s. He's just shooting him with regular guns now.
You can't win, Rodney.
I love Minute Mouse. Okay. Courageous Cat has 2 guns. He's armed Minute Mouse, his youthful ward.
This tube gun never fails.
Tube gun. Oh, it's a tube of paint. Yeah, but he was definitely intending to kill him with deadly force earlier, and then he decided to pull out the tube gun. Oh my god. A fate worse than death. What a kooky gun. It turns you into sludge. This is Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. With the help of his trusted sidekick Minute Mouse and his unlimited supply of kooky guns for any occasion, Courageous Cat solves one wacky crime after another. That's the premise for this show. It is a cartoon from 1960 by Bob Kane, the creator of Batman. Stop! I'm a cat. I love you. I have a gun. Sorry. I was not paying attention. Dear Minute Mouse, I think about you all the time. You are so handsome and cute. Would like to meet you. I will be walking in the park Saturday. Your secret admirer. So Minute Mouse is getting catfished by the criminals.
Here he comes now. I'll put the bag over
Handsome is pretty good.
Soon, Minute Mouse will be in the dark. Now to call Courageous and use my frog voice to confuse them. Hello? Hello? Now look here, Courageous Cat. This is the frog, see? And I got Minute Mouse, see? And if you want him, come on and get him, see?
It's the frog, all right. Now to the frog's house.
Oh my god, he's framing someone else by doing a James Cagney voice. Do kids today even know what a James Cagney voice is? See? Do kids watch gangster films from the 40s anymore? I feel like not.
Come on, frog. Release Minute Mouse.
Now look here, say. I ain't got no Minute Mouse, eh?
Scram. See? That is pretty good.
Calling Courageous Cat. Empire City Bank has just been robbed.
First, I've got to find Minute Mouse.
All this money and no Courageous Cat. Ho, ho, ho!
It's the radar ring on the Minute Mouse wavelength. Minute is being held prisoner. He's all tied up.
What a nice toy.
I'll follow the radar beam.
It's Courageous Cat. Let's go.
They've taken to the water.
It's like they ran out of time.
The gun will hold them for a while.
The capsule gun. They all the guns look the same. It's like they had too much time to fill. They didn't have enough footage, and so they just like
Glad you saved Minute Mouse.
inserted awkward pauses where nothing happens.
Back writing a prescription.
Ah, I get it. Because they're pills. Keep
In a cool place for a long time.
Boy, this is great. We have 4 more of these left. The case of the shoo-shoo fly.
Flight 36 to tower. Flight 36 to tower. Someone just stole my captain's cap. There goes my communication set.
Tower to Flight 36. Tower to Flight 36. Come in, Flight 36. Come in, Flight 36. Do you read me, 36? Come in, 36. Tower to ground crew. Make ready for crash landing. Calling Courageous Cat. Calling Courageous Cat. Proceed to airport. A plane is in trouble.
Why is Courageous Cat responsible for every possible emergency situation in the city? They don't have, like, I don't know, emergency staff at the airport? It's true. The message of his show is just find the guy with the most guns and give him all the power.
What's happening to me?
The pilot will soon find out what is happening. This powerful shoo-shoo fly will make me rich. All I have to do is let him out, and he does what I wish.
Also, the criminals are, like, they're not motivated by, like, taking over the world or evil aspirations. They're just, like, trying to get rich. Really, a more thorough examination of the economic system might be a better way to deal with crime than just shooting everyone with wacky guns. This is 1960. So the guy hijacked a plane with a fly? Okay.
Go, shoo-shoo! Go!
How much fuel does this plane have? Why does he need the plane to use his fly to rob banks? What's going on? I love Fatty Arbuckle Dog.
My tree-growing gun will stop him. Watch this.
Oh my god. Now he's dead. How did he get into a bottle? He didn't shoot him with the bottle gun. Which is different than both the tube gun and the capsule gun. He shot him with the tree gun. Yeah, what's going to happen when they need to chop that tree down? Or when it falls over from its own weight, being a 4,000-foot tree. This is one. I hate this, but it's also really, really great. The case of the unmentionables. Oh no. Because how 1960 is it to just have him shoot everyone?
Now look at you guys. I'm the boss, you say, and nobody pulls capers without me, say. I'm the brains of this outfit, say, and I give all the orders. So, all together now, who's the boss around here?
I'm taking over here.
See? Sorry, I kind of like that for an emote or something.
Any other objections?
Why is...
All those in favor say...
Why are Chip and Dale in this criminal syndicate?
Motion is carried. Now, gentlemen, here's the plan. Gather in closer. I want you to for a minute, and then we're going to be and courageous, and then
I'd better warn courageous cat, say. I don't go for kidnapping, say. Yipe! Hold it, frog, old boy. Hold it. You'll never get away with this.
You see, when I drop the tailboard, the back of the truck looks just like the cat cave. We're almost there now.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Just like taking candy from a baby.
Now, gentlemen, Empire City is ours. Rodney Rodent, you will make phony art. Foxy will be our bank man. Robber Rabbit, an assistant, you will be in public relations, working
Robber Rabbit
side of the street.
and assistant.
Our new headquarters.
I'm getting real roommate vibes from Robber Rabbit and his assistant.
Cat and Minute Mouse and the frog are tied up, and the water is rising.
Gee, courageous! How are we gonna get out of this? Don't worry, boys. Harry is waiting outside for my signal, say. This cigar is not real. It's a calling whistle, say. What's up, boy?
He could have just... He was right there the whole time. There are so many guns in this show, you have no idea. It's Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse from the creator of Batman, Bob Kane.
Okay, boys.
And he solves wacky crimes with his unlimited supply of kooky guns.
See, boss, they went to the cat cave.
We'll head him off at the cave. I know a shortcut. We'll beat them at their own game.
How many people are going to get shot in this episode?
Here they come now.
Is it going to be the whole syndicate? Are they going to shoot Cagney Frog too?
From now on, the cave will be our headquarters.
Oh, they didn't have the budget for to have more than 2 of them in the scene.
Thanks for your help, Frog.
Don't mention it. It was a pleasure, say.
That was very anticlimactic. After all the shooting and all the other episodes, the criminals just drive into captivity. Lame. No kooky gun. It's an unlimited supply of kooky guns, and you can't pull out 1 kooky gun. Shameful. The case of the TV director. Okay, this is the second to last episode on this tape.
My own television camera. Now I can follow that courageous cat all over town, say, and watch.
We're gonna train after this. It's been a while since we've had train tape.
Here he comes down Main Street, say. And there he goes, reporting to headquarters. So you see, boys, I'll watch and warn you when the cat's around. From now on, the town is ours, say. We'll do exactly what we please. Okay, Rodney. The coast is clear, say. Courageous Cat is on the other side of town.
There were 130 episodes of this show produced.
Courageous cat, Rodney Roden seen around Jiffany's. Looks suspicious, investigate.
Between 1960 and 1962.
Uh-oh, here he comes. Hold it, Rodney. Here comes Courageous Cat.
There's something wrong here. Nobody's trying to rob Jiffany's. Look!
Sorry, Jiffany's. Because Tiffany's.
How do you do, gentlemen? Had any good books lately? Courageous, why didn't you proceed to Jiffany's as ordered? They have just been robbed.
Come in, Foxy. Come in, Foxy. Proceed to knock off bank as planned.
Yeah, I pronounce it Giffany.
Wait till Courageous Cat hears of this.
Calling Courageous Cat, calling Courageous Cat. Empire City Bank has just been robbed. You boys better get on the ball.
This smells like the Frog. I'd better investigate.
Uh-oh, here comes Courageous Cat. Gotta pull in my TV camera.
Minute, did you see that camera on the Frog's house? I think I know what the Frog is up to.
Well, back to business again.
Calling Courageous Cat, go to Short's department store.
Now to put my plan into action. The Frog is in for a big surprise. Each miniature Catmobile is set to go down a different street.
So they're doing like
Let's go, Minute.
Godzilla-style miniature shots to trick the Frog.
The coast is clear, sir. And don't forget my box of cigars.
This is so convoluted. I love it. I really want
Channels.
there to be gun, though.
There's Courageous on the wrong street. Let's see what the chief is doing. Now, how did Courageous get over there? It can't be. Something has gone wrong. A cat is all over town. Every man for himself. Goodbye, boys.
The game's over. You're under
Gun. Shoot him anyway.
I think I'd better take a trip.
Take a trip. Get it?
Did anyone get the license number?
Wow, I'm surprised. The criminals surrendered when Courageous Cat was holding them at gunpoint, and he did not then proceed to shoot them. What a great guy. Yeah, it's in a show that's so low effort and cheap. I'm impressed that they, or I guess just surprised that they had a whole shot of him in a body cast as the payoff for him tripping. It's a weird gag. The case of the fabulous diamond, but they probably already had the body cast shot from a different episode. I guess it makes sense that these shows are so formulaic. Like, there's only a handful of characters that are ever involved in the story. It's just like 3 or 4 villain characters.
Cute.
So that they can just reuse footage all over the place.
What's up, Chief?
Are you alone?
Alone? Just a minute, Chief.
He does remind me of Flat Mickey now that you say it.
We're alone now, Chief. What's on your mind?
Listen carefully, Courageous. Meet me at the Maharaja's Chateau. Got it?
Maharaja's Chateau. Right.
That bird's a spy.
Make it snappy.
Okay, Chief. We're leaving now.
Thwarted by trees.
We're being followed.
He might be a stool pigeon. Let's lose him.
Do you get it? Do you get it?
What kept you? First, I want you to meet the Maharaja and his interpreter.
We see Sora, what a bunch of breaky. I want to put on gay, but I can't sort of party. What the burgiochi, what
Oh,
a
no.
party, but a quarter, what a candy. What the panda, what the kitty. I the one agree with you. Oh, what the other what's I can what the about take. The Maharaja, he say, hello.
A pure white diamond, 6,000 carats, worth $65 million. The Maharaja is the proud owner of the fabulous diamond. Its great value has been publicized, and the Maharaja fears someone might steal it.
The Maharaja, he say. Inform the Maharaja I am at his service. And under my watchful eye, no thief in his right mind would dare try to steal the fabulous diamond.
6,000 carats, worth $65 million. Crime does not pay.
Gun. I'll be honest, I was zoned out for that. I'm looking at code on the left side of my screen, and nothing happened audibly. They really don't didn't have a lot of dialogue budget, did they? It really just zipped right by me. Anyway, that was Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse, a Saturday morning classic. I love him. He just has guns. He just uses guns. 130 episodes, 130 guns, we hope. Yeah, that was my experience too. I blinked and it ended. It's not the first Courageous Cat episode where that happened. You need volcano or plane? Well, I don't think we have volcano or plane. But what we do have is Great Railway Journeys, Karachi to the Khyber Pass. This looks interesting because we haven't done a train tape in a while, and this is a non-North American train tape, which I feel like will be a refreshing change of pace. Mark Tully, the BBC correspondent, brings a lifetime of experience in India to this 1,000-mile journey on a spectacular rail network built by the British in the 1800s. It's kind. I'm going to pop it in the VCR. We'll get it going, and then I'll keep reading. Oh, it's tape number 420, too. Nice. Leaving Karachi on the mail train to Lahore, Mark makes a diversion north across Vicente Desert on a steam-hauled goods train. Then through the magnificent Bolan Pass via 20 tunnels, each an incredible feat in engineering, and on to Quetta, which predates Greco-Roman civilization. The female train? Returning on the Khyber Mail, he continues to Rawalpindi, then on to Peshawar. All right. Well, we're going to Pakistan.
Correspondent Mark Tully makes an epic journey over and through some of the world's roughest terrain.
Oh, yes.
The railways built on these legendary routes are spectacular feats of engineering.
Even the adventurous railway engineers of the 19th century said this was a line that couldn't be built. It wasn't until 1921, just after the Third Afghan War, that the British decided to take the plunge and carve their way through the Khyber Pass.
The Third Afghan
Pakistan, War. Each arrival and departure.
How many Afghan wars have there been?
So join us now as
people really need to stop fighting the Pashtuns.
Celebrate the ingenuity and beauty of a bygone era.
You're not going to win.
Funding for Great Railway Journeys is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support from viewers like you.
Karachi, near the mouth of the great Indus River, the starting point of the Khyber Mail, and of the journey I've always wanted to make. One first-class sleeper on the Khyber Mail to Rore Junction, please.
Yes.
Kitna hai wo?
198 rupees.
198? Bahut महंगा हो गया आज का?
Highest class, first class sleeper.
198 rupees, $6, for the first 300-mile leg of my journey. Pretty reasonable. But in Pakistan, one has to give at least the impression of bargaining.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, God willing. In an Islamic country, nothing is believed to happen without God's help. But Pakistan railwaymen know that even Allah cannot guarantee that their trains will arrive on time. In Pakistan, the railways are still the backbone of the transport system. The historic Khyber Mail takes 36 hours to travel from Karachi on the Indian Ocean to Peshawar, capital of the Northwest Frontier Province, at the foot of the Khyber Pass. I want to make the journey whilst this famous express still exists. As a child of the British Raj, my father was a businessman in Calcutta, I had a nanny whose sole job was to prevent me learning the language and talking to those then known as the natives. The porter tells me that some days he does quite well. He claims that on others he doesn't earn anything at all.
Oh, a
There's a
Genesis
sense
tape.
of occasion every evening at 10 o'clock as the Khyber Mail pulls out of Karachi,
Nice.
cantonment, particularly for a railway buff like me. In the many years that I've been BBC correspondent in South Asia, I've never had the chance to take this great train. I've spent my time flying from city to city, meeting the English-speaking elite and reporting on national politics. On this trip, I'm looking forward to travelling at a sensible speed, seeing places I've never seen before, and meeting people who can't afford to go by air.
Right.
Ahead lies the Indus Valley in the province of Sindh. Then, for me, there'll be a diversion north, across the desert through the Bolan Pass to Quetta, the capital of Baluchistan. Back on the Khyber Mail, I'll travel to Lahore and Rawalpindi in the Punjab, and then on up to Peshawar. My dream would be to go on through the Khyber Pass to the Afghan border, but that section of the line was closed in 1982 after the Russians had occupied Afghanistan. The British built the railways to unite India, but when they left in 1947, the country was partitioned and Pakistan created as a homeland for the Muslims. There's been a bitter rivalry between the two countries ever since. The sleeping car attendant is proud to point out that in Pakistan, unlike India, first-class passengers even have their own personal toilet.
Oh, you get your own personal toilet on Amtrak, too. But it doesn't cost $6 for a car, for a cabin. It costs like 10 to 20 times as much as a coach seat. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Railways of the Raj. I'm travelling on the old Northwestern line, the longest that the British built. A spectacular network that ran north from Delhi, largely for the movement.
Apparently, Amtrak roumettes don't have toilets in the newer.
It was built
newer
to meet the
trains
threat of a
or
Russian
something.
invasion of British India
So
through
I've heard.
Afghanistan. Indus Valley is the fertile part of Sindh and the site of the earliest known civilization in the Indian subcontinent. During its brief but troubled history, Pakistan has fought 3 wars with India. As a result of the third, in 1971, it lost its eastern province, which became Bangladesh. It's perhaps not surprising that, being born in Calcutta and now based in Delhi, I'm sometimes regarded with a bit of suspicion in Pakistan.
Number 1 badmash Mark Tali No full stops in India.
No Full Stops in India is the title of my recent book. I was delighted to find that this Pakistani passenger had read it, even though he admitted it was a pirated edition. I was even more delighted when my new friend encouraged me to write a book about Pakistan.
शायद मुझे no full stops in Pakistan to लिखना है यहाँ लिखिए no punctuation in Pakistan.
I do like this documentary style. Like, we're traveling along with this dude who's interacting with people.
Well, I'm going to Rawalpindi for the time being for a few days, maybe about a couple of weeks.
Why, have you got some family there, or?
Yeah, I got my son there. He's working in the ILO as computer programmer.
And
he has a daughter recently.
Oh, I see. So you've got to go and see his daughter.
So, yes.
You haven't seen her yet?
I'm going to see her.
Oh, that's great.
So,
This is what Pakistan Railways calls a lower class carriage.
in 1985.
But you do at least get a rack to sleep on.
Do you come from Pakistan originally or from India originally?
Well, I have lived in Karachi.
Yes.
Most of the time, about
Yes.
45 years.
But at partition, were you in India or in Pakistan?
No, at partition I was a student in India.
Oh, whereabouts?
In Junagadh.
In Gujarat?
In Gujarat, yes.
And have you been back since?
Then I have not been there.
You haven't?
And I haven't.
Would you like to go back and see it again?
Well, maybe yes, maybe no.
Why
Not
no?
particularly.
Why no?
Well, the conditions nowadays are such that we would like to be here in Pakistan. This is our homeland country. We love it.
That's what it used to be like. An Englishman to travel in a train in India. See, there's a servant polishing his boots.
Boot polish.
Boot polishing, yeah. See if we can find, this is all India, but see if we can find what was, there you are. That's Pakistan.
Pakistan and Quetta.
Yes, Quetta line, yes. This line was washed away completely. 4 times they tried to build this line, and there it is.
Yeah, India and Pakistan.
In Pakistan, railway police.
I know the governments really hate each other, and they both have nukes.
Exactly, help the railways themselves.
And I'm not that familiar with the actual on-the-ground culture of either of
Nobody
these
pays
places.
any attention to the rules and regulations.
But it does seem like they're
Don't think twice about pulling the communication cord if the train doesn't
very
stop at
popular movements of.
Why bother with a bridge?
Contempt for the other.
Rory Junction. I've had my $6 worth. Here, my diversion north to Quetta in Baluchistan starts. It's a part of Pakistan I hardly know. I have read all about its railways, where British engineers solved some of the most difficult problems they'd faced anywhere in the world. But first, I couldn't resist this chance to get a really good look at the historic bridge across the Indus at Rory. I'm travelling on a new bridge. The old Lansdowne Bridge had, in its day, the longest girders in the world. Such structures were designed and manufactured in Britain and were only assembled and erected on site. The engineers in Britain scoffed at those they called the Meccano engineers. But Perhaps they had no idea of the problems involved in handling girders weighing 86 tons, and that in 1889, let alone the threats from tribesmen who respected no law but their own. The Lansdowne Bridge, like almost everything else on the North Western Railway, was heavily fortified. The province of Sindh was one of the last areas of the Indian subcontinent to be conquered by the British. Jacobabad, on the other side of the Indus, is named after the Englishman General John Jacob, who first pacified this unruly region. The memory of the soldier who brought peace and also built roads and dug canals is still so revered that his tomb is a shrine. The people of Jacobabad still believe that a thread measuring the exact circumference of his tomb and then made into a necklace will ward off fever. When other towns in Pakistan called after Englishmen were being renamed, the people here refused to lose their connection with John Jacob. Fakir is a holy man, and that's what they tell me he is, although he was not a Muslim.
Hey, Joshie, how you doing? We're having a substitute teacher style stream today where I pay attention to the code that I'm working on while screening long-form educational content and
in General Jacob's time,
cartoons.
Women could even go out alone at night without fear of being attacked.
We saved the Panda.
I asked for one of General Jacob's threads to bring our film good luck.
We learned about Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse, the 1960 cartoon from Bob Kane, creator of Batman, where Courageous Cat just shoots everyone with wacky guns. And now we are learning about the train from. We're learning about trains in Pakistan, and just kind of the overall climate and attitudes of people and slice of life kind of stuff from Pakistan in 1994.
Out of Jacobabad, I got a lift north on a goods train. I was really in luck. It was pulled by one of the few steam engines still operating and flying the Pakistan flag.
I'm not a train person per se, but I have been pleasantly surprised by like the scope of content that you get in these train documentaries. They're not really about the trains
was one of the
for
last
the most
batch
part.
of steam engines to be imported into Pakistan and was manufactured in Canada.
There is some train stuff in there, sure, but
it lasted far longer than any diesel locomotive ever would.
They're more just like travel documentaries that take leisurely strolls through like history and culture.
There's always something to be done on the footplate of a steam engine, and steam drivers still have their own locomotives and take great pride in decorating.
Yeah, I've never done any scale model building, but there's this this guy I used to watch on YouTube all the time called Luke Towan.
If it goes too low, then
he has a channel called Boulder Creek Railroad, and he just makes these very, very detailed videos showing how he puts together these little dioramas and scenes and landscapes out of like craft foam and Mod Podge and little all the. It's very intricate and looks really like a really neat hobby. Of course.
In Pakistan, steam engines burn oil simply because all the coal was left behind in India at partition. This line was built at the rate of more than a mile a day, completed in 1880.
It's good to have.
The desert to Sibi, one of the many places.
You don't necessarily have to have a concrete
in the
plan
world.
figured out entirely ahead of time, but it is good to have some sense of what your life will be like when you're old and gouty.
Once died of heat exhaustion in a train crossing this desert.
It's good to appreciate that youth is not eternal. It can be a hard truth sometimes, though.
When the railway was built, it had no rivals, but now goods can be moved faster by road. And, like many other places in the world, the railways are feeling the pinch. Of course, rail is still much safer, especially in Pakistan, and trains use much less energy. But sadly, the government seems to favour road over rail, and Pakistan railways have been starved of investment.
Hello, केड़ी गाड़ी जी? जी, जी.
Now, back with diesel on the Quetta Express. On the last stage of my diversion north to Quetta, the Brahui Mountains rise up out of the desert. The only way through them is the Bolan Pass, one of the two historic routes taken over the centuries by invaders of the Indian subcontinent. But it was one thing to take camels or even elephants through the Bolan Pass, quite another to take a train. Twice during construction, floods poured down these dried-up riverbeds and washed away the line and bridges. A new route higher up then had to be found for the track. This railway was crucial to supply British soldiers guarding the pass against the armies of the Russian Tsar. The line is one of the longest gradients in the world. It rises 5,000 feet in 50 miles. The Bolan Railway, with its 20 tunnels and 368 bridges, was completed in 1897, 21 years after the route was first surveyed. A train a day was then able to carry what previously was carried by 2,500 camels. Camels seem to have survived the competition. These nomads are on their annual migration from the high mountains of Baluchistan to winter on the plains of Sindh. It's taken nearly 5 hours to climb to Quetta, the garrison town that the British built when they moved their army up to the Afghan border. The public are no more cooperative than the railway passengers. In Pakistan, everyone does their own thing, even at the risk of their lives. Or of their livestock. Quetta is the capital of Baluchistan, and perhaps the most fiercely Islamic of all Pakistan's cities. You hardly see a woman on the streets, not even shopping. Even for foreigners like me, alcohol is totally banned. Muslim clerics, the mullahs, vie with tribal chieftains to dominate politics. It's pressure from them which is making Pakistan more and more of an Islamic state, a state where religion lays down the law, and the clergy, not the people, decide what's right and wrong. A new road has been built from Karachi to Quetta, and the buses are now much quicker than the train. Road transport has just driven another of the Baluchistan branch lines out of business, and it must even be a threat to the Bolan line itself.
Boy, so much social upheaval in terms of both religion and public transit.
In Quetta, I wanted to go and see a striking example of the paternalism of Pakistan Railways. A TB sanatorium, run not just for their employees, but for their relatives as well. कितने साल का नौकरी किया आपने रेलवे में? 28 साल. अच्छा जी, really. So he was a pointsman in Saka.
Pointsman in Saka.
Really good. All the time. हमेशा pointsman था. अच्छा, he never got promoted.
अनपढ़ आदमी थे नहीं मिला.
अनपढ़ आदमी था. He wasn't able to read and write. अच्छा, yes. In a country where life expectancy is still low, tuberculosis is one of the great killers. The situation wasn't helped when thousands and thousands of infected Afghan refugees poured across the border. TB attacks people of all ages when their resistance is low.
The Soviets. They invaded Afghanistan before we did.
Age between 19 and 29 have the maximum incidence of tuberculosis.
Really?
Yeah. And this is probably because of the multiple pregnancies they have during that time.
And that's when they get, because they become very weak.
Yes, they become weak and they contact this disease.
So really, tuberculosis is something in Pakistan which is waiting to attack anyone, actually.
Yes,
and
because
if they
have
get
been
weak,
infected all right. The only thing is when they become diseased.
Hmm.
So disease which actually set in when they have lower resistance.
We must let her take her medicine. She's sitting very patiently. Take her medicine. This was an unusual opportunity to talk to women in Pakistan. Unfortunately, I rather put my foot in it with this daughter of a retired railwayman by asking how old she was. आपको उम्र कितना है?
Yes, ladies really are shy. She's 20.
Yeah. She's 20 years old.
20 years old.
She's very reluctant to say it naturally. Having just had a birthday, I'm reluctant to tell you what my age is too. While in Quetta, there was something else I wanted to see. What I gathered was a really extraordinary monument to 19th century engineering and ingenuity. I was accompanied by Fidel Mohammed, a senior tourist officer. We were going to see the remains of the first railway that was built through the Brahui Mountains to Quetta. Baluchistan is a vast province. It covers 40% of Pakistan, but has only 5% of its population. This valley was the scene of the disaster which spelt the end of that first railway line. Flooding was the problem. At the Chapa Rift, although the pillars remained standing, one of the approaches to the bridge was washed away in 1942, and the engineers finally gave up the struggle to keep open a line that had always been prey to natural disasters. This book was written by a friend of mine, you know, who actually was largely responsible for starting the Railway Museum in Delhi.
Yeah. And it's got this marvelous picture.
The chopper roof.
There you are. That's where we are, isn't it, down there?
Yeah, we are here now. That's very beautiful pictures.
And there's this very, do you see the supports for the bridge?
Yeah, on the bridge.
And there's a train going across it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, sadly,
there is no
train. No train at all, is there? It's a very beautiful picture. It's really better than the photograph in some ways, isn't it? You see the camp just like you can see nowadays.
Yeah.
See the nomads down there?
Kuchis, yeah.
Just like you can see
Just like
nowadays, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
They knew how to build in those days, didn't they?
As the shale was too unstable to support a track running along the mountainside, miles of tunnels also had to be bored. Men had to be lowered by rope to blast holes in the side of the mountain. There was pressure to complete the tunnels because of the threat of another war with Russia, and simply boring from both ends would have taken too long.
ड्रिल करते थे फिर इसमें से डायनामाइट डालते थे
डायनामाइट
डालते थे
ये तो बहुत खतरनाक
हाँ बस फिर इस तरह करते रवाना हो जाओ.
And dynamite wasn't the only danger. In 1 month, 2,000 of the 10,000 people working on the railway died in a cholera epidemic, and many of the others fled. I'm now back on the Khyber Mail, approaching Lahore, capital of the Punjab. Lahore is the headquarters of the railways and Pakistan's most historic city. In my view, it should really have been the capital of Pakistan, but it was thought to be too near the Indian border. At the railway training school in Lahore, they're teaching potential station masters to see that trains don't bump into each other. They have to learn all forms of signalling, from the most primitive single line operating to the latest colour light control. Pakistan railways are very much ancient and modern. Inevitably for me, it's the ancient that I love best. I long to have a go myself. These engines, made way before independence, are still tootling happily round the track. But when you move into the headquarters of Pakistan Railways,
you could have a steam
train are more of a hindrance.
If you just laid down your tracks, you could have an airplane flying. If you bring your blue sky.
The railways still employ 130,000 people. The British have gone, but the Babus, the clerks, live on.
Always. He has so many songs about his penis.
The pivot general. I wonder what's turning on him. Nothing, I sense, but a lot of paper which revolves from desk to desk, constipating the system. Bureaucracy and overmanning are the besetting sins of the entire Indian subcontinent. No one has yet had the courage to take on the might of the Babus.
Heavy.
As a foreign correspondent, I couldn't resist the privilege of penetrating the corridors of power to find out whether there's any sense of urgency here.
Well, for example, in the last 3 years, we have shed about 10,000 people. If we maintain that rate, in about 2 years' time, 3 years' time, that will not be a problem. Overstaffing will not be a problem if we are able to keep a tight lid on recruitment. So far, the government has cooperated with us, and there has been no recruitment. That's no problem. We don't want to sack people. See, it's a humanitarian problem. They have been with us for a long time. You know, railway is a brotherhood, and we just don't want to say people, okay, don't come to office tomorrow. We don't do that.
I wondered if the general manager was as confident about the threat of road transport as he was about the prospects of reducing staff painlessly.
Presently, what is worrying me is we have not been able to get all the people who wanted to travel by train onto the trains. We meet only about, in case of passenger sector, we meet only about 50 to 60% demand that is laid on us. Similarly, in the freight sector, today, given the resources, I can carry about 20% more than what I'm currently carrying. My problem is not that of people not coming to me, it's my inability to carry them. So road transportation doesn't bother me at all.
Yes, the trains in Pakistan are still well patronized, but there's plenty of track for many more if only someone would fund them. Meanwhile, the roads are improving and motorways are now coming. Habits will change. But I must admit that in the bazaars of Lahore, there isn't much sign of change. Horse transport still survives because in Pakistan, unlike in India, human beings don't pull rickshaws. The driver actually believes that time should go backwards. He wants the British to return. He's worried about the Pakistani economy, though I can't see why he thinks the British would be any better at dealing with it. Actually, I suspect he's just saying what he thinks I'd like to hear. In Pakistan, tea shops are the equivalent of pubs or bars. In this one, the conversation turned to the plight of musicians.
Traveling, the general rule of travel is like
keen to know about the
traveling
music scene
internationally
in
is don't talk about politics.
In Pakistan, the mullahs are not enthusiastic about music, and that is
I think because it requires a certain amount of like familiarity and cultural understanding to have those discussions, and also because in some places like you don't know what's going to be a grave faux pas or illegal or get you killed. Like don't talk about politics in Turkmenistan. But what I like about this is that it's a glimpse of someone who is
gurus of music in Pakistan.
who has the background and the confidence to be able to talk about politics and actually like engage with people. Because you could go to Pakistan, you could visit it, but you couldn't do that. Or not without a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, like talking about the local politics. Yeah, I do love that drum tuning.
But now I must get on with my journey.
That skin's got to be tight.
A city as civilized as Lahore is built like a fort. A number of railway stations like this were constructed just after the Indian Mutiny in 1857, when the British Raj was seriously threatened with collapse and had to recapture large areas of the subcontinent. Lahore is Pakistan's busiest station, and the only one still connected to India. Information in Pakistan is not always easy to come by, and the railways are no exception. I need to find out about a daytime train to Rawalpindi as I don't want to wait for this evening's Khyber mail. After 25 years in the Indian subcontinent, I still sometimes forget that patience doesn't pay. My next destination, Rawalpindi, is home for me in Pakistan. It adjoins the new capital of Islamabad. I spent a lot of time there reporting on the politics of Pakistan. One of the charms of a railway journey anywhere in the subcontinent is the way that the menu changes as you move from one region to another.
It's the idea that it's
Karachi, it was
kind of foolish to go into like
I'll be dipping my
Botswana
nose
and just
into
be
a
like,
Balti ghost.
let me tell you about Botswanan politics. I know all about it.
The tea everywhere is very hot and very sweet.
And that it's generally a rule of etiquette when you're traveling to not
My train, the Tesgam Express, has been through a phase
meddle into uncomfortable
brand new
subjects when you
carriages
don't
and
know what is an uncomfortable subject and what isn't. Like you don't know, talking to a random Botswanan person,
I had to buy a ticket on the black market.
what is going to,
Free enterprise booking clerks.
what is happening in their head when you bring up politics.
I was told at the counter that there were no seats available, but miraculously on the platform, a man offered me a ticket at twice the price.
I think just general attitude of like, no, be cognizant of what you don't know. Traveling requires humility.
Pakistan Railways must be a ticket collector's nightmare. I'm travelling first-class air-conditioned. There's also first class, lower air-conditioned, second class, and economy. Someone in trouble, a ticketless traveller with excess baggage too. He protests that he'd always intended to pay, but the ticket collector is determined to fine him.
Yeah, I don't believe in shaming people for like
I'm brought
not
into the row
following
and
the
then blamed
news.
for the fine. The victim says that the ticket collector is only doing his duty for the camera. The next drama, an unscheduled stop and a spot of bother with the locomotive.
A spot of bother with the locomotive is the most British phrase I've ever heard.
The damage turns out to be the result of an accident.
It means the train done
ran over a
fucked up.
motorbike, abandoned by its panic-stricken rider at a level crossing.
Just had a little train oopsie. Also rip that dude's bike. I'm glad he's okay, but sucks to lose your bike.
All aboard. Rawalpindi, here we come. With luck, only an hour or so late. Breakfast at Flashman's Hotel, Rawalpindi.
अच्छा मोहम्मद अस्सलाम वालेकुम कैसा है अच्छा रोशनी को क्या हुआ
I love this old-fashioned establishment, although it's a bit frayed at the edges. Unlike big modern hotels, here one gets genuine personal service. I'm welcomed as an old friend by Mohammed Khan, who's been at Flashman's for donkey's years. I like to stay in Rawalpindi as opposed to the purpose-built capital of Islamabad down the road. Pindi is crowded and chaotic, real Pakistan. Islamabad doesn't even have a station.
I don't think I've ever
which
heard
says
the
something about
expression
past government's
for
commitment
donkey's
to trade.
ears. Hey, Alistair, thank you for the 1,000 bits.
It was at Flashman's 16 years ago that I first
Let
met
us
my
sledgehammer,
favourite person
indeed.
in all Pakistan.
We got about
Taxi driver Mohammed Salim.
We got about 15 minutes left on this, and then I will be happy to sledgehammer.
We've been friends ever since, and at great personal risk he stood by me when I was reporting the trial and execution of former Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. I wasn't exactly popular with the military dictator General Zia at that time, and Salim was arrested and put in prison for his friendship with me. I love the church as much as I love railways. As a young man, I tried to become a priest but failed. Then I applied to British Rail and was again rejected.
Hey, seemingly Jess. Thank you for the 1,000 bits for bells and whistles.
Sunday communion in Urdu at the
Trains have bells and whistles. I think perhaps we need more bells and whistles just for fun. Happy to oblige.
India was once the headquarters of the British Army on the northwest frontier. The army and the railways are British legacies which are surviving. Christianity has made far less of an impact. Christians are a tiny minority. The Bishop of Lahore, who's celebrating communion, fears that the government will eventually say that you have to be a Muslim to be a Pakistani. The church is very cautious about making conversions for fear of provoking Muslim reaction. It's a much reduced Khyber mail that runs between Pindi and Peshawar on the last stretch of its journey. Not so many passengers travel all the way to the remote northwest frontier province. It's easy to mock killjoy mullahs and decry Islamic fundamentalism. But the fact is that most Pakistanis are genuine believers who say their prayers 5 times a day, wherever they are, whatever their work. Crossing the Indus again at Attock Bridge, this time into the northwest frontier province. It was argued that this river should have been the frontier of British India. Beyond it, they had nothing but trouble, defending the Khyber Pass and trying to control fierce and independent tribesmen, the Pathans, who straddled the border with Afghanistan. Early morning in Peshawar, the end of the line for the Khyber Mail. Travelling by train, I've again been reminded how limited the life of a political reporter can be, forced to shuttle from city to city by air. On the railways, I haven't met the high and the mighty, but I have met people who laugh and cry and who say their prayers.
It just looks like a Moscow subway station.
But this was not to be my farewell to Pakistan Railways. On arriving at Peshawar, I learned that the line through the Khyber Pass, closed for the last 10 years, might soon be reopened for tourists, and that a trial run was about to be made. I managed to wangle myself a place on this unique journey.
I guess he's the signal man. He's got a green flag and a red flag. It seems like, I don't know, it reminds me of the early history of train travel in America, to see
Even
people with
adventurous railway
so,
engineers of the 19th century
who are so
said this was
unconcerned
a
about the
line
grave physical danger of
It wasn't until 1921,
trains.
just after the Third Afghan War,
Just like
that the
casually
British
walking in front of an
decided to take
approaching
the
train.
plunge and carved their way through the Khyber Pass.
Like, I remember learning about brakemen in the early days of trains where they had to like spin a wheel on top of the car, and they just employed people to jump between the cars on moving trains to operate the brakes when they needed to stop or slow down. And they would routinely just like fall off and die or get crushed to death. And the railroad companies were like, whatever. This is within our margins. We can just account for the fact that we'll occasionally have to hire someone to replace a dead guy.
Trains would go very slowly and would be easy to loot.
Until someone decided to invent safer brakes.
Not only to agree to the railway, but also to help construct.
And then the train companies were like super resistant to implementing the safer brakes that didn't kill their employees, because it was more expensive than just letting the employees get killed and replacing them.
At first, Bailey regarded them with a mixture of fear and admiration. In his journal, he describes them as scallywags, wild and woolly gentlemen, unspeakable ruffians. But in the end, it's clear that he came to feel a great affection for the Pathan tribesmen. The line is only about 20 miles long. It took nearly 5 years to build and needed 34 tunnels. Bailey and his tribesmen had to work in temperatures below freezing in winter and over 120 degrees Fahrenheit in summer. two engines, one built in 1913 and one in 1919, have taken it in turn to push and pull as the train zigzagged up the mountains. Both drivers have had to exercise extreme care to avoid literally pulling the train apart. Now we've reached Landi Kotal, the summit of the Khyber Pass. Sadly, this really is the end of the line for me. All that effort went into building the Khyber Railway so that British troops could be posted here at Landi Kotal on the Afghan border. Now the pass is guarded by the Khyber Rifles. They gave me a right royal reception, setting a seal on all the warm welcomes I was given in Pakistan. They even asked if I wanted to take the salute, but I didn't feel I had any right to do that. Pakistan has held on to its British military traditions, but at the same time has modernized the army and made it its own. The railways are in danger of losing their inheritance if they don't modernize. I do hope they'll be given the resources to be smart and efficient. Otherwise, they'll surrender to the roads like railways in so many other parts of the world have done. And that, for me, would be truly tragic.
I gotta admit, the drums and bagpipes is a great combo for marching. All right. Well, we've done it, folks. That was Great Railway Journeys, Karachi to the Khyber Pass. I did like Mark Tully more than I thought I would. Oh, it's a cat dog man about to be run over by a train. WNET with the Doug sounds. All right. Got ourselves a new graphic. Hell yeah.
Funding for Great Railway Journeys was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by...
Sure, why not? I'll grab the Corporation for Public Broadcasting graphics, too.
Funding for Great Railway Journeys was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support from viewers like you.
All right, viewers like you. Golden VCR is brought to you by the gracious financial support of viewers like you. Viewers like Microwaved Alistair and Seemingly Jess, who have requested Sledgehammer and more bells and whistles. How about it? While I get these queued up, what have we learned today? I have to, think about code and not just idly write it, and also I need to take a shower. So these are our 3 tapes for today. I have enjoyed watching them with you. I hope you've enjoyed watching them too. Yeah, there's always a gun. Give your cat a gun if you want society's problems to be solved. Sledgehammer and more bells and whistles. Oh yeah, Sledgehammer is a good song. They're all good. They're all good. I like a little Peter Gabriel variety, so I'm glad we got some Sledgehammer in here. No, I'm saying Sledgehammer is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite 80s Peter Gabriel songs. I guess late 80s, what was this, 85? '86. I did see the Discord post that someone shared of Peter Gabriel hanging out with Paul McCartney at the Taylor Swift concert.
Going up and down all around the bends. You could have a thunder car bumping. There's amusement never ends. I wanna be the sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name? Oh, let me be a sledgehammer. This will be my testimony. Show me round your fruitcake, 'cause I will be your honeybee. Open up your fruitcake, where that fruit is sweet as can be. I wanna be your sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name? You better call the sledgehammer. This will be my testimony. I'm your sledgehammer. Let there be no doubt about it. Sledge,
Oh boy. Oh, Chicken Man. Oh, that is not what I was expecting from Chicken Man. Woo. Thank you again, Alistair, for letting us enjoy that together. And finally, we have a little more bells and whistles from Seemingly Jess. Created by the Animusic guy, Wayne Little. The orb is rising. Oh, thank you, Bella. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. I really appreciate hearing that. What are the orbs doing? Laser hookah, or whatever it is my favorite instrument in this. And with that, folks, thank you so much, everyone. I'm glad you could all be here, and I'm glad that these streams have been adding a little delight here and there into your life. Happy to have you here. It would not be possible without you. Otherwise, it would just be me watching videotapes by myself, and I don't know if I'd had the motivation to watch hundreds of videotapes by myself. So yeah, thank you for your support, and thank you for your presence, and thank you for spreading the gospel. If you want to tell like your uncles, just email all your uncles and tell them about twitch.tv/goldenvcr. No one else. Don't tell anybody else. That's going to be it for today. I will thank you again to Peter Gabriel. And I will see you all back here on Wednesday. As a scheduling reminder, we will have no streams. Yeah, I think Wednesday will be our last stream for a while because I am going to be out of town for a week. So I'll talk more about that then. In the meantime, I'll see you Wednesday. Have a lovely week, everybody. Happy Monday to you. And that's the button I want. Bye. Happy Canada to Canadians. I assume it's a Canadian holiday today, too, because there's like 400 of them. Oh, what a perfect time for my chatbot to time out. All right, bye.